Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tronage, and today we got FPV crate. I know it looks like a gray box, but trust me, there's an FPV crate in here for October 2019. Want to check it out with me? Stick around. Alright guys, FPV crate, October box, we got it in our hands. Now, at first glance, I'm noticing that I think the days of that clear shrink wrap on the box is behind us because now we've got the gray poly bag again, and I think between the two of them, this is a wiser choice. It's much more durable, much more rugged, and if this is where your shipping label is, that's important because there was a couple of, maybe the first or second box that I got from FPV Crate, the clear shrink wrap seemed to have cracked a little bit, I guess from just handling and shipping, and I could eventually see it coming off of the package rather easily, and if that's where your shipping label is attached to, then that box would kind of go missing. So I think this is a definite good option, although I'm not really sure why it's there in the first place because both Quadbox and Drone Drop just put their labels directly on the box without having it to be packaged into something. I don't know, but hey, we're gonna crack this open together. So what we're gonna do, we're going to open this up. I'm gonna give you my genuine reactions to what I see inside this box. And then what we're gonna do, we'll talk about things and give it a cost analysis to see if it's worth what you paid for and really just what kind of value you can expect from FPV Crate. But before we get started with any of that, slam that subscribe button. While you're at it, hit that bell icon. Makes finding my videos a whole heck of a lot easier, helps support the channel, and keeps you in the know when I post videos such as this one. And while you're at it, maybe hit that like button if you like what you see. All right, so let's get started. Come on in close and let's crack it open. FPV Crate, let's do this. All right, let's first start off with getting this poly bag thing off so we can see what we are working with here. All right, throw that to the side. Box looks the same, and oh, we got that velvety sticker. Oh, I can't wait to cut it. I can't wait to cut it. I'm psyched. Oh, jeez. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you gotta run an X-Acto blade through one of these seals, man, because it just feels so velvety smooth. All right, little pre-open on our flaps. Let's get everything squared away. Let's dig in. So as always, I will take my little package of goodies that has maybe coupon codes and stuff. We'll take a look at that later if there's anything to be seen in here, but I'll move that to the side. And we will first look at these glorious stickers. And by coincidence, it happens to match the shirt I'm wearing. That's kind of cool, but I didn't plan that. I just said, hey, I'm gonna try to max out my FPV Crate-ness. So I'm wearing the same shirt and I'm wearing the same hat. So here we go. We got the FPV Creator logo thing going on. Pretty cool stuff. Still those really heavy duty feeling stickers. Loving it. All right, moving on. We have some packing material here. So let's pull that to the side and let's see here. We have a wire. Look at that wonderful wire. That's wonderful. Now, by looking at this wire, it's telling me one thing. There's probably a camera in here because I see this is basically a pigtail. This end goes to your camera. This is where your little OSD joystick would plug in, and this is the part that would run to your flight controller. So I'm thinking there might be a camera in here, and this is a little foreshadowing. Let's see if I'm right, but we'll put that to the side. Up top here, we have the Lumineer. Is it the Axie? What we got here? It is the Axie. Anything special? It is the Axie, but it looks a little different. Like I'm used to I'm used to these first of all coming in a box with little foam in it instead of this little bag, but I guess this is a cheaper packaging. It's an MMCX connector, and also I feel like the housing's a little shinier and, I don't know, maybe a little bit different. But in any case, we have the Lumineer Axi antenna, always a great antenna, and it has my favorite connector, the MMCX connector. Moving on down the line here, we have, what is this? This is a Rush FPV. Can't really see what it is. Let me look inside. I mean, it looks like a VTX, if I have to be completely honest with you. Looking, I mean, it's hard to see inside the bag here, but I'm pretty sure it's a VTX. It's the Rush 5.8 gigahertz model tank. So it's the Rush Tank Vtx. Sweet. All right, let's keep going. Oh, I called it. I called it. We got the Caddx Turbo Micro F2 right there. Since this bag I can open easy, let's take a little peekaroo at that. Nice. And if you want your little info. Next up, we got some props here, and I think that's gonna finish off this box. Yep, that finishes it off. There's the packing material. Set that to the side. We got some props here. What do we got here? We have there the Gemfan Hurricanes 51466. So right there. And that is pretty cool. I love me some props. I like the Hurricane props. My go-to props are usually the Dow Cyclone or the HQ props, but the Gemfan Hurricanes are definitely a good contender. And the 51466 is kind of an interesting size that I've been experimenting with, so we'll see how these work out. So, to recap this box, which is seeming pretty darn good, we got 3 sets of props. We got a Caddx camera. We have a Rush FPV video transmitter. We have a antenna. In fact, if you think about it, you have basically your entire camera system, from camera to transmitter to antenna. So it's the whole package of your FPV portion of your quad. That's kind of cool. We have the sticker sheet and we have the little cheat sheet. All right, let's run some numbers, see what we get. The numbers have been run, and here you go. So let's go through these line by line and give you my opinions about what's going on. So first up, these Gemfan props. I mean, I've said this once, and I'll continue to say it again. I love getting me some props because you know what? When you have these boxes and you get these props, you need to change out your props. Don't be flying around with bent, chipped up props. It's just gonna lead to other problems. Anytime you have any kind of a crash and you notice any kind of damage to your props, just swap them out. They're relatively cheap, and especially when you get these kind of boxes and you get 3 packs of them, I mean, that's a decent amount to last. And the 51466 is an interesting size. I'm noticing a lot of trend, at least in these boxes, to getting the 5.1 inch sized prop instead of a 5-inch prop. One thing I will point out is, remember, these props are a smidge bigger than a 5-inch prop. So if you have a regular 5-inch build, you probably can throw a 5.1 prop on there. Just be careful, because if the prop is a little bit bigger, so if there's a wire, it may, you get what I'm saying. So just when you put these on to a craft that was maybe originally built with a 5-inch prop, just make sure that there's clearance for all your props. You're not going to end up having a prop strike on anything. That's the important part. So moving on. So the Axi, this is, I knew it looked different. I knew it looked different. Now I would think if you're going to go through the trouble of redesigning it, because it has more of a gumdrop shaped housing versus the original Axi had more of a, well, let's stick with the candy thing. It looked kind of more like a jujube, in my opinion. More cylindrical. This has more of a wider base to it. So this is the Axi 2 antenna. And from what I can tell and what researching about it, it really seems like it's just they changed out a few little things. It's kind of, I think, the same antenna inside. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, if I'm wrong, comment down below, point me in the right direction. I think they really just made the housing a little bit more durable, because the Axi antennas had a tendency to pop open, and once they popped open, the inside is very delicate and would break. So this is supposedly much more rugged of an antenna. And also the reason why it's in this little heat shrink bag, and I'm noticing this trend also with the products in these boxes, is, remember, packaging costs money. If you go and buy an Axi 2 antenna, it's going to come in the normal box with the normal foam, the luxurious unboxing process. but that all costs money. So if you're trying to put a product into a mystery box, you want to give it as cheap as possible. You want to have the most value as possible. So therefore you can save money on that packaging, whether you realize it or not. When you buy something and it has luxurious packaging, you're paying for that packaging that you're throwing then away. So I'm all about budget packaging. Give me a quality product. So I don't mind that it's in a plastic bag. I just was kind of curious why they did that, but now I kind of thought it through. They're trying to make it as cheap as possible for FPV crate, and that savings is passed right on to me. Next up, we have the Caddx Turbo Micro F2 camera. And this is actually a camera that I checked out and looked at a while ago because it was actually spec'd out in my budget build. If you missed that video, the link is going to be up there as well, probably in the description down below. But basically this was spec'd as an alternative. The one I spec'd out for my Tronage budget build was the Caddx S as in Sam 2. This is the F as in Frank 2. Similar camera for me personally. When I was doing the build, it was about whether I wanted 4x3 or 16x9 and what was available and what I could find and what the cost value was to work it into the budget build. So this is a spectacular budget camera. I mean, obviously it's not, you know, they're top of the line. Being that I'm familiar with this camera and I know that it's a solid camera, I'm very happy to have received it. All right, next up we have the Rush Tank Vtx, and we actually received a different version of this. It's the Rush Tank Race. We got that in, I think it was the June quad box. We got that in, and when I got it that time, I looked at it and it had really good reviews and it seemed like a pretty solid VTX. And now getting it in this edition, which is nice that it has the little wings on it so you can put it in as part of your stack and stuff, is pretty cool. So I'm excited to try that out because right now I feel very comfortable flying a Tramp or a TBS VTX because I feel like those are the most solid ones, especially Tramp because they have the little wand that you can go and change your VTX channels and such without even turning on the quad, which is kind of a really cool thing. Looking at the reviews for this product though, it seems like it does have a pretty good following and that it is a quality product. And the price reflects that. I mean, it's certainly not a budget price, and I'm pretty sure it's certainly not a budget VTX. The thing I do like about them, which is a little different than other VTXs, is that the whole thing is in shielding. The entire thing is just one, like, I think I referred to it as a pack of gum when I opened the June quad box, but it just has like a feeling where it's rock solid. They don't just shield the transmitter part, they shield the whole unit. So I think that's pretty cool. Overall, adding that all up, subtracting out the cost of the box, and yes, I do leave out the sticker sheet. I don't count that as anything because yes, this sticker sheet may have value, but I don't ever see anyone going and buying it. Like, hey, let me go buy that sticker sheet. That looks really cool. I would say they don't really sell them. I would say they mostly throw them in boxes as like freebies. So it does have value, but you're not purchasing value, if that makes any sense. When all is said and done and you look at that bottom number down there and you see almost $26, to me, that puts a big old smile on this face. I like getting, my baseline is about $20. As long as I get about $20 over the cost of what I paid, I'm gonna consider that a good deal. That's sort of my baseline. So if I open up a mystery box for drones related stuff and there's $20 of value, I'm like, cool freaking deal. If it's under 20 bucks, I'm sort of like, okay, this is a little eh. And then based upon the different products in there, I can even skew it even more. Once you go above 20, like if we go to 25, 26 and higher range, that's when I start getting a little giddy. Like, wow, that was like a really good bargain. I'm really happy that I purchased this box. I'm really happy to be a subscriber of it. And that's how I feel with this box. I feel like this box is pretty cool. I'm not gonna say it's like super duper stellar because 25 is sort of like the top end of what I consider like the average in a good way, if that makes any sense. But that being said, still an awesome box. Really happy to get it. Everything that I got is definitely going to get used. I'm going to use the props, going to use the camera, going to use the antenna, and going to use the VTX. This is a solid lineup. There's no like junk just thrown in there that just seems like it's thrown in there to be thrown in there. And what's awesome is that it kind of makes sense. They gave you the camera, they gave you an antenna, they gave you the VTX, and they even gave you the little pigtail to hook the camera up to the VTX. Cool. That being said, I think FPV Crate is definitely onto something here. This is a well thought out box. You got your standard props and your standard sticker sheet. That's just given for the realm. But then they gave you a full, you know, powertrain essentially. Camera, VTX, antenna of that whole system. And it's all quality products. It's all high-end stuff. And I mean, the Caddx is maybe like a little lower end, but it's still a solid workhorse. But that being said, I am super, super excited, and I think this is a definite good value, and I'm super happy to have been a subscriber and to have gotten this box. And if you're not currently a subscriber to the FPV Crate box, I hope this gave you some information to maybe think about whether you should or not. And full disclosure, you know, these boxes, I pay for them out of my own pocket. I don't get anything. I'm not rewarded for posting these videos. I'm just like you. I take my credit card out, slap it down, and buy these boxes. So it's just about trying to grow the sport and get that information out there. All right. So as always, my name is Tronage. Fly strong.